Ladies and gentlemen, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Ringru. Hello, hello, hello.
And Soviets and Soviettes, we are here on that lovely new map of Cell, giving you some more SD2 action. We actually have in the next couple of days, I think, a trip pack coming out for you guys before the next phase of the beta comes. So do be sure to check back. If you are not subscribed to either channel, definitely do so. But Rang, before I get carried away, who's fighting, what's going on, and who are they fighting with?
Well, on left hand side in blue, we have Saxony playing as a 78th Stern Division. And
Mm-hmm.
on the right hand side in red, we have Pbatt playing as a 26 Guard Strelok sort of division. I don't know how to say it word fully in Russian.
Maybe Strakovi.
Strelkovi, probably something like that, comrade.
Well, I apparently just need more shots of vodkatki in my system, and then I imagine we'll get really good about that. Before we say Dos Vidania to this kind of group just yet, I do want to make a quick call out. Interestingly enough, the 70th Strum, of course, is one of the newer divisions, i.e., the second of two divisions that we've seen so far. And I'm very, very fascinated to see that Saxony, a good German name already, is
Mm-hmm.
basically starting off with this entire complement of Stugs in Phase A.
Yeah, he's got one up north,
The one down
and
south.
one down south. So that's yeah, yeah, a decent amount of stugs. You get like three per card in A phase if you get either the unvetted or vetted ones. I don't entirely remember.
It's unvetted. I'm pretty sure. I thought it was two or three. It's one or the other. Actually, I
Yeah,
know in phase B, if you do unvetted, you get four.
yeah, but yeah, he's got a few tanks. Looking for the Russian player Pbatt side. I'm not seeing. Okay, we see one IS-1 tank in the middle, very useful tank for that division, and one T-34E up north. So, I mean, both these are infantry divisions, so of course we're not going to be seeing too much in terms of armor, and especially on a map like this. This is a
Mm-hmm.
very infantry-focused map. It's probably going to be a lot of Stern Pioneers and those two-man Flamethrower squads from the Russians.
Last thing I wanted to check out as well is we have a couple of Sturmschützen. So not actually, we think about it, Saxi's not going to get a ton of infantry to work with in this first phase. He's pretty much it feels like he's throwing a lot of it in that kind of initial push, and then that's going to be it for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, both of these guys do have the balanced
Mm-hmm.
income.
Yep.
And yeah, especially for like 78th, I usually find that a lot of people go more heavy B phase for the infantry, because it's a bit
That
more card efficient.
That's true, but I find myself running out of infantry a little early on. And maybe I'm just very profligate with the usage of them. I maybe just hold things back a little bit more, but I don't know. I feel the Sturm, you kind of have to take an early position with them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see where you're coming from.
Well, let's game this out for a second. So the Sturm division, in my mind, you should take it early, take territory early, and just try to hold it in phase A. I know that other people we've seen games where we look for a very very late game 78th. Oh, in your mind, how do you think that how the division should be played?
I think in this map, 78th is really quite hindered,
Mm-hmm.
as they're really a long range division.
Yeah.
And this is not a long range map. You can't really use your Nashorns and Pack 43s all that efficiently in such a small clumped up forest. And I think Pbat's definitely going to have kind of home field advantage in that regard. He's got a lot of good infantry at spammable, good at close range, and a lot of good cheap tanks to help win in close quarters. That IS-1 is going to be a huge pain in the ass early on.
Definitely seems fairly accurate, unless of course, not that the IS is really going to take some tank fire necessarily, but unless he gets really awfully close, which is I guess actually kind of very much a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to see our first kills in just a moment here, though. Looks like oh never mind. Pack 40 looks like he's about ready to start to. We do have Otabachiki and guard squads in the center part of the map. It feels very quiet at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, but neither side's really doing any crazy pushes. It's pretty 50-50 all over. Yeah, just the Germans setting up in positions in good areas for their shoot-ins to shoot the Russian infantry before they get a little bit too close. And I think it's really going to be Pbatt making the first move. He's gotten two more T-34s being brought out. I have a feeling he's going to probably try to do some sort of armored push somewhere.
Well, that probably makes sense to a certain extent. I mean, I guess, of course, the T-34 is a ubiquitous tank. We're going to be seeing that an awful lot. So what's different about the T-34E versus some other versions that we might have seen so far? I'm
I
sure
think
you've
it.
gamed this out.
I think it just has some like applique armor on it. I'm not entirely sure about the technical differences of the T-34E from Heart, but I think
Hmm.
it's something to do. They just tried adding like applique armor onto some of the frontal plates and the turret, just to give it a little bit of extra defensive
Heft.
capabilities. Yeah.
Gotcha. So, well, Russian men let their women rounded, like their tanks. I'm sure we're gonna hear hell from somebody on that one, but as long as it's from Helsinki, I don't care. The Flamethrowers for troops. I'm actually kind of fascinated to see we have a 4-pack of Zippo lighters to the north,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm surprised that we're actually not seeing a whole lot in terms of just infantry leaders. We finally have a pioneer, a few are coming on in, but
Oh yeah.
outside of that, really not that much leadership really on either side of the map.
Then neither side has got a commander out yet, so yeah, it's really just an odd leader here, or yeah, you got more T-34s being brought in from Pbatt. But yeah, very, very quiet opener. I think neither side has really shot at each other in like 3.5 minutes in the match. A little bit anticlimactic.
Yes, it is. I mean, we do see the Bouzier 25, that 76 mil howitzer, and I thought for half a second he was going to be the first one to really kind of light things off, but then he said, "Forget it." And I don't know. I feel like you said, there's gonna be an armor push somewhere, and the
Yep.
question really is: are we waiting for this T-34Es in the south to make that initial push? It looks like that is, yeah, that's the first opportunity.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Strom division really is playing exactly what it should: sit tight, wait, and just use efficient firing, and just kind of let that happen there.
Yeah, I mean, it's really quite difficult in the map for the Sturm to push through forest. Just you never know. There could be a bunch of angry Russians with PPS-80s and flamethrowers waiting for you to come up, and especially even though Stugs, no turret, it's probably a bit more better to be defensive early on. And we do have our first engagement down south, and a plane.
That's a weird graphical book there.
Oh yeah, it's a flamethrower unit. But
Flame from heaven!
well, it's like.
Holy fire! Call down on the Soviets, my lord!
So what are we doing? Playing black and right now? Jeez, got god
Oh,
abilities.
man.
Yeah, I thought it was an airplane being like shot down for a second.
Scratch that puppy behind the ears. Interestingly, Sturmschützen getting forced back, that's not something we're going to, at least for me, in my mind, we have seen very happen, particularly often. Those SDGs are quite beastly. I know you
Yeah,
talk about how wonderful they are. Apparently, they don't feel like working that way for me. But nevertheless, getting pushed back by a single squad of DP guards, that's really, really surprising.
yeah. I mean, it does have. I think the fire support from the machine guns and the sniper back in the guard unit definitely helped kill that Sturm shooting, or not kill him, but force him to retreat. But that's definitely going to give Pbatt a nice, uh, chunk of ground in that northern middle sector of the map.
Well, we are going to see T-34E almost able to pick on some Vernichtungstungs coming on in. But I want to see more Holy Fire here. Come
I
on,
know,
charge
right?
charge the Zippos, man. I want to see that happen again.
That was great. That's not even a bug. That's actually a feature. I hope you guys read the secret patch notes.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, it's never going to happen for the Soviets because, of course, they're godless heathens. But the German side, they it was their state-sponsored religion. You believe in the Führer, and the Führer shall reward you with fire and fury. That's German Drang right there.
Führer in the flames.
Yes, yes. Through the Führer and the flames we carry on. Dragon Force sang that song a long
Yeah,
time ago.
yeah. But I was seeing on the hill in the middle, we got the after Machiki and the guards moving up. We're seeing the Messerschmitt recon plane doing a bit of strafing run. As you see, actually did a pretty decent job, yeah. Artillery being dropped on German positions, but I feel like the Russians going to get a hill as they have two rather nice tanks on here.
Yes, they do. And not for nothing, as good as that anti-tank is, the tanks don't have to get as close as they used to anymore. I mean, they
No.
don't make them like they used to, apparently. Oh, we're getting surrenders. Actually,
Oh wow.
that's kind of spicy.
But the Russian yak coming in, and it's gonna yak off that Messerschmitt 109 to the ground.
Yak, 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 yak. Or yak, 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 yak. One or the other.
Yeah. But
Either way, can we just kind of note the fact that Saxony I think, is playing this kind of reactive style defense, and normally I would say that doesn't work particularly well. When you have infantry advancing over open ground, you're asking to lose them.
mm-hmm.
Now, in terms of the Soviets coming forward, what can they do to kind of screen their advance?
Just get infantry, lots of infantry, move
Let me
them up.
rephrase. If they're looking to go and smoke and care about their guys, is there any opportunity for them to do that?
No, you just get guards and penal squads, and they're good infantry units, mind you. I'm not saying they're like just throwaway, because they actually do really good damage. But you
Hmm.
get a lot of them. You just move them up, have some tanks behind you, call in the artillery, and it's pretty much how you play the Russian division.
It's a very consistent style. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. I will give you that.
yeah. You're using your tanks. You're using your tanks usually to be behind your infantry, like an infantry support role, like your KV runs, rather than being the spearhead charge of half tracks, like in the other Russian armored division.
Part of me is kind of wishing that we could have tanks mount on infantry mount on
I
tanks.
know.
Well, at that point, after we found out too, what was the Automachiki? Was that the
Tank Deso San tank.
yes, the Desantaniki?
Yeah,
Go with that.
because those are guys who are tank riders. So
Yes, yes. I had a very helpful commenter tell me that was at least basically Russian paratroopers in the same way Fallschirmjägers were kind of thrust into the line.
mm-hmm.
So it'd be really kind of cool to actually have the ability to call in, if nothing else, a cheaper squad of infantry, maybe not even a full one,
Yeah,
or add
that'd
them to
be
the
cool.
motor pool. That'd be kind of fascinating. But yet again, I think these guys, they're no one really wants to make that move. I feel like
I know.
the person who shifts first has been taking losses.
Yeah, I mean, Pbatt is slowly running that +1 point advantage, so he's doing pretty good. He doesn't really have to move if he wants to, but sure, it's a good idea to take a little bit of extra ground. I think we're seeing a little bit of movement up north from the German player, from Saxony, moving some Flammenwerfers up. And those two-man Flamethrower squads are actually pretty damn deadly. It can really mess up like a full infantry squad, easy peasy.
Which we're about to find out in just a second as the Stormschützen opens, unmasks the squad. The Flammenwerfer, he's just barely out of range, or
Uh,
is he? No, he's out of range. Okay.
yeah, he's just needs to move up just 10, 20 meters, and you can bring down a holy fire.
Unfortunately for him, the guards very intelligently back away.
Mm-hmm.
But there we go. Now
Yeah.
they're moving on up, and that's going to be the end of that squad. Just a second here. And flame on? No, smoke.
Smoke,
Smoke him if
good.
you got him.
As I
Good
see,
call.
really good smoke. Just in the nick of time before the T-34 opened up.
Flammenwerfer. Okay, so
There we
that,
go.
that fire and flames before, yep, that was just a particularly devout squad, it appears.
Yeah, yeah.
And there we go. Okay, can we just note that even the smoke right now looks just so much better than
I
it used to?
know. The, the game looks beautiful. Like we say every cast, this game looks goddamn great.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
It's nice being able to like zoom in forests now, and you can actually like see your units inside it.
Well, and you don't have to just look at the forest for the trees, if you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
exactly.
Sturmschützen getting forced back. We are going to see the kind of limits of the Sturmschützen as we have, little Vasily Zaitsev over here, the Snipiri,
Mm-hmm.
um, kind of causing quite a bit of an issue.
Yeah, so sniper squad's really deadly now because they have 1 kilometer range, so you
Yep.
can you can really sight people from across the map. Very
Wait,
accurate
wow,
on the guns.
80%? I'd like to point out that the longest shot in history was, what, 700 yards? And that was by, like,
I know.
Wilcock back,
Yeah.
like, Vietnam.
Yeah. It's unrealistic to quite a big degree. Like no way a World War II sniper rifle can even reach that far, but it's
Allied
just
bias
gameplay
confirmed.
bound.
Now, I do
I
like
know, right?
we have a couple more squads of guards being brought on in here too. Nothing too really fascinating about the Studebaker trucks. Those things are actually just really, really slow. Well,
Mhm.
roughly. But they are effective. Okay, in terms of your priorities, in terms of like motor transport, what's your first choice? If you had to tell a new
Uh,
player just coming in, what do you do?
for the Russian division, there's not really too much choice. You really just either pick Pbatt or I really forgot the other choices for the Russian
Oh,
transports.
it's
like
a this is 42.
You pretty much just pick the fastest runs for your best units, and then
Mm-hmm.
after that, you just go with whatever is left. That's really the best way to pick transports. In unarmed transports, it is. Once you get to half tracks and other things, it's a little bit more complicated, but for the most part, just pick the fastest stuff. Try to take as many as you can, and then throw the other units into the slow guys.
I was stunned for a second. I was like, we have more strokes coming in. Wow, we are already into Phase B. That first
Oh,
10 minutes was like nothing,
that
dude.
was really slow first 10 minutes. Like,
Stormshoots to the north are going to get picked on off. The Flamethrower squad, unfortunately, did give their life for the Führer. But we are seeing more and more Storm Pioneer squads.
mm-hmm.
Like you said, we're getting this slow bleed. And I'm very surprised. Is smoke shells coming on in from the 81s? There's a couple of 81 stovepipes
Yeah.
back to the south. Or to the north, rather. He's aiming, but I'm not sure what he's actually lofting. We can't
I
say.
think he's in the aiming bug. There's currently a bug with like some artillery units where they just align forever, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, well, it's more of a morale kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The Germans like, you know what, we refuse to fire. We are seeing a more concerted push moving over here into this kind of southern hill, backed up by that IS-1.
Mm-hmm.
The Schutzen and the Pioneer Führers are just they're getting overwhelmed pretty damn quickly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if he can drop some artillery in that first before charging into the guards, I mean, he's probably not going to now. The guards are already moving up. Problem is, those Germans, they got the high veterancy thanks to their leader, and they do have the command unit out in their field, so that's helping out. But yeah, I think it's going to take a little bit more firepower from Pbatt to rout out the Schutzen.
I have to say, I am surprised by the relative speed with which troops recover their morale.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to make a quick call to the north. We do have another.
Yeah.
Ooh, other Stavmoki, Buviki, whatever. Point being, the Russian pioneers now they actually have a dual flamethrower.
Yeah, those guys are nuts.
Yes.
Absolutely nuts.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
And then they have PPSs on top of it too. Like those, the Russian infantry is absolutely freaking nuts.
Yeah, it's really quite funny because even like the guards infantry, they're not that bad at long range engagements.
Yeah,
Like
the
compared
DP.
to yeah,
Yeah.
the DP is actually pretty good compared to the bars and Brens of SD44. It's kind of a nice change. Of course, in run on run, like this is slightly worse than MG42s, but it's interesting. It's really interesting.
The PTRS 41s. I'm still a little bit peeved by quite how good that thing is.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I think there's rumblings at one point that they're gonna take a look at that.
yeah. I
couldn't
think
tell you
they're
for
gonna
sure.
nerf them down the road a little bit, but I can neither confirm or deny that statement.
That's true. Now we do see the giant smoke trails to the north, and we actually saw the leaders getting taken out. Is that the Andreyusha? Andreyusha? Yes, it is.
Yep.
The Andreyusha is on the field. So the 300 millimeter HE shells. The Russian Nebelwerfer
Yeah,
is just doing work.
it just doesn't mess around, man.
No, it doesn't. It's kind of absurd how powerful that thing is.
Yeah, to be fair, you get a very limited amount. Like,
Oh yeah.
there's only one B card that you can get, so
Mhm.
I mean it's very powerful, but you literally cannot afford to you lose it. And that's the one thing I like about this wrestling division. There's a few unicorn units like at like the Run IS Run, you get a few Entrusers, a few heavy artillery pieces. It makes for, some fun variety. Having like one really good unit, but you only have one of it.
Now I am kind of fascinated to know. So the KV-85,
Mm-hmm.
which model is that more based on? Is that the KV-1, KV-2?
It's a KV-1 with like a T-34-85 turret on top.
Okay, that was going to be my assumption, but I could not say for sure. I have to say my Russian tech knowledge is a little bit scanty.
Yeah, that was like they did, yeah, and then they moved on to the IS Run and then IS-2. That was kind of like the heavy tanks sort of path development, sort of.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Taking a quick back look down to the southern side in terms of that forest fight. I was going to say only you can prevent forest fighters, but that's just a really, really bad joke. We are going to see the Germans had lost and retaken their own ground there, but here's the interesting part. Now we have the IS-1 is able to put machine gun fire out there. I want to see... No, that's still definitely out of range. And that Panzerschreck, yeah, again, it's 250 meters. He's got to get a lot closer.
Yeah, I mean,
It's doable.
Yeah, he can. He can, Shrek your IS Run easy, but... And he has a very good chance to kill it. He's got 3-star veterancy. But I don't think he's going to risk it for the biscuit.
No, it definitely does feel like a rock, paper, scissors, and out. They just keep getting ties over there.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, wait a second. He's making the move.
Oh, He goes.
Slight damage. Okay.
Yeah.
He's getting another shot off pretty damn easily.
Yeah.
And there we go. That was a big force multiplier. Of course, we still have 2 more tanks, a T-34 and a KV-1E.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that got taken out probably about 6 minutes too late.
Yeah, and without any anti-tank or raw armor for the Germans on the hill, all they can do is hide in that forest. They can't really push out of it, as those tanks are just gonna strop them back in.
I ain't gonna look down to the south. What happened to that last Stug?
I know he.
Oh no, there he is. Okay, so we have enabled Buffer 41 aligning. He's looking to shoot. Okay, a bit of the compound the Germans lost a long time ago. And these guys, I think, are just taking forever to. I think we have another bug here. Yep, they're bugging.
Yeah.
They're the village people down there. We love to fight in the Führer's army. Anyway, so eventually he'll figure out that he's not getting his, to use your term, bang for his biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
But what he can do is the Sturmschützen are definitely able to match himself up well against the Automachiki, which is really weird considering how much firepower the Automachiki theoretically have.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, those SCGs are pretty bloody good, especially when you got 13 of them. I mean, yeah, but we've got the KV-1 here now. It's going to slow things down, but the Sturmschützen should be able to catch up for us and get that nice command point under their control if they can kill the Automachiki.
Well, to slow things down, getting that sensual mood for your lady. But anyway, we're back to a 12-12 split. The Baker's dozen advantage that was had there is dropped back off.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, we see that has Naval realized he's not firing? Nope, we're still waiting on that one. And we're approaching Phase C rather quickly.
Yeah, it's been a very uneventful, real first 20 minutes. I mean, Pbatt's been winning, but it's just been, by a 1 flag advantage.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter as long as you get the W. It doesn't really matter how you do it, right?
Yeah. I mean, not everything has to be crazy blitzkrieg push.
Although, I know you guys out there definitely want that.
But, yeah, I like seeing blitzkrieg pushes, just...
What are you going to say, please?
Spawn.
What were you going to say, though?
I completely forgot.
When you get old, that happens, I suppose. Know, right? I will say, up to the north, we are going to see there's this WLPO push, and I think that's what I'm going to call those guys, the Sturmoviki. And I'm sure my Russian pronunciation is absolutely abysmal. Another Stug has come on up to engage that T-34E. Oh, so excuse me, the KV-85 rather. Excuse me.
Yeah. And there's a Pak 43 in the road as well.
Yes, and a Nebelwerfer that almost, I don't say was completely useless, but we do have a nice little concerted infantry rush coming on up here from the Germans, with both flamethrowers and smoke grenades. Well, they're in decent shape.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you see? Oh, wait, the KV-85 got taken out. Yep.
Pak 43 doesn't mess around.
Well, that's good. I'm happy to know it's in a committed relationship. Good for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's taken years for that thing to come online. It's been on the So now it's playing the field. I get it. KV-1E. We're just sitting at that 12-12.
Yeah, I have a feeling Pbatt's... Oh, sorry, Saxony. My bad. He's probably going to try and take his northern hill here. He's pretty close. He's got the tanks coming in. He's got the infantry trying to clear the forest. It'd be a very good position to get because it's pretty easy to hold once you have it because you have the high ground. And you can maneuver your way down south to another nice, easy victory point.
Now, did you say Pbatt was the one on Northern Hill? Because I was looking...
Saxony.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So I was going to say, I was looking a little bit further south, and Pbatt's got himself a couple of squads of infantry just waiting to go into the forest.
Mm-hmm.
And since the Automachiki, along with that flamethrower troops, the KV-1s, I mean, come on, that's begging for a nice, swift assault here.
Yeah.
Now, you're thinking that he can take this forest. I might have to disagree with you on that one. If nothing else, just because...
The Northern Forest?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, never mind. Yeah, we have a couple more squads coming in, but... Those pioneers sold themselves dearly enough. The Germans don't want any more of it today. I guess it makes sense. Ooh, propeller damage. Oh, okay. So the
Oh
ME
wow.
109 takes a propeller damage, and the Stug prays that he's not going to get hit by that. Interesting. Once
I'm
again,
wondering whether it's going
yes.
to be more likely or less likely we're going to see planes impact things. Because on one hand, there's more planes in the sky. On the other hand, the maps are larger.
Well, yeah, and I feel like the planes are just not as durable as they used to be, which I'm
Yeah.
kind of okay with. Cluster bombs down south.
Oh.
Say goodbye to these Stugs.
Going. Going. And gone. Oh, oh. There we
Oh
go,
yeah,
gone.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. I mean, those are 2.5 kilogram bombs.
Armor penetration.
Yeah, and I suppose the speed of them coming on in, but trying to think. You know, mathematically, that's what 6 pounds for Americans out there. Not even
It's
half a stone if you're a Brit.
it's a lot of booms.
Yeah, but it's a carpet bomb. I mean, it's not like it's hardwood floors. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, we do see Pbatt doing his push down south. So
Hmm.
T-34 and some infantry trying to get his pretty much barracks area. And it's a rather nice push, but Stug and T-34 engage, and Stug's probably going to win. Has a rather nice position. But yeah,
Well,
nice
and if
seeing Pbatt doing a push.
he doesn't, we still gotta get that tank close enough. We'll have a Panzerfaust ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Though ironically, yet again, that Panzerfaust should not have the range of 120 meters. That's a 60, therefore a 60-meter range. But whatever.
Yeah.
Um, the Russians are certainly feeling the burn here.
Yeah, down up north.
Just kind of in general, I would say.
Yeah, but
Um,
it's still in the lead.
oh yeah, easily. And we have that forced assault I mentioned before. That is happening, and it is very very quickly turning into a rout.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that we have so much in the way of like German airplanes trying to strafe, trying to keep that infantry back, and it's not going to happen.
No, it's not. Yeah, one shoots in Führer. He's not having a good time. Yeah, he's gonna try and retreat. He's
Yeah,
got
he's
one
just
smoke.
nope.
Nope, he's gone. He's a gunner.
Well, discretion's the better part of valor sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and actually, you know what? Okay, this southern, let's say,
Oh,
bastion, has just been pounded by another Andrayusha barrage. Is it Andrayusha or is it
and
maybe a Katusha?
it's Andrusha.
Unfortunately, he did go and get his own guards.
I know.
Oh wait, the guards are still moving. They're pinned down.
Yeah. Huh. They're
I don't know if
slowly
it's a
moving. They're
bug
like
or...
crawling if you zoom in. Which is
Oh, they're
still kind of
crawling.
weird.
Well, they're gonna be Oh yeah, they're kneeling now.
Yep.
And looks like the Soviets have retaken control of the air. I think a lot of the ME-109s just bought it.
Mm-hmm.
I just see an impact on the ground. Ooh, Pac 43 gonna match up against his T-34E. Probably gonna pound it pretty good. Wow, surprised. There we go. Crew panicked.
Yep.
And that would be a dead tank, I think. Yep. But the LPOs, just a little further north, continue their rabid march through the trees.
Mm-hmm. Those guys are the scariest infantry in a forest fight at the moment. I don't think they could be another infantry as scary as running into a Sturmoviki. Like what are you gonna do? Have like unit 3 flamethrowers? 4? Maybe 5. 5 guys, 5 flamethrowers. They're gonna be ripping up for a barbecue.
I think there's, well, yeah, there is Five Guys burgers and fries,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe that's where that started. I don't know.
Yeah.
I am fascinated by the idea that right now the Germans are able to get a slight bleed over here on the Soviets. Because to me, honestly, for the most part, except for a couple of objectives, the Soviets have just been pounding everything into Saxony. I feel like Saxony's been getting body shots constantly.
Yeah. And it's a real difficult map for 78 to really move around, and it's very, very constricted for their division. If this was more of an open map, it'd be having a much better time, as you can use those Nashorns and 43s to just, control the open fields and move in with your better equipped long-range infantry.
Now, we are going to get another naval buffer strike on that 3 LPO and the Automachiki. But it doesn't really matter. They're taking a nearby territory point. They're holding that pretty comfortably, so they're going to get out just before the artillery strike really hits in earnest.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm curious. We have okay, there we go. Another kind of like flame assault squad moving in, and the Germans are getting kind of paired off one by one. I feel like it's like death by 1,000 cuts here.
Yeah, yeah. I have a feeling. I have a feeling that Pbatt has a more sea-face spammy deck over Saxony for some reason. It just feels like he has a lot of sea-face infantry,
Okay.
but I can neither confirm or deny as we can't actually see the players' decks.
I honestly, that'd be kind of something I'd be fascinated to be able to do. Was to
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, not saying
Like
a big thing, like a mini, like a part of the map I can pull it up.
yeah, it'd be very nice. So you just click pay a name and it just shows you like a small like HUD thing of their deck composition.
Yeah, and this is an awful thing to say, but just whenever you have like a shooter killed or a loader killed, I imagine like some other guy in the tank being like running from one side of the tank. I gotta take care of both of these things. Like, man, I better be getting paid overtime for this nonsense.
My buddy next to me just got killed.
I demand time and a half. I'm working with 1.5 bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Worth noting, we are seeing a massive infantry investment to the north.
Oh god, that is a lot of flamethrowers. And all Sternpiners too, damn.
Yep,
And
Sturm Pioneer, Sturmschützen. Yes, please. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's just it's a lot of infantry.
Forest Europa down here continues to hold, shockingly.
Yeah.
And where's the more Andrayusha shots? Heck, why the heck is he not firing his 120 mils? They're full up on ammo. I would be lofting these shells all day, day.
Indeed. Especially up north now, with all these German guys coming in. We've got Neighbor Alpha doing a preliminary strike. But I have a feeling, unless he gets some more armor support up, I don't think that Pack 43 is a clear, so it doesn't have a clear sight down the road. He's going to move up a little bit, and those KV runs are going to come in and stop his pushing its tracks. Unless those Sturmschützen can Panzerfaust KV runs effectively, which I kind of doubt.
Well, I can tell you, we have one Andrayusha with 3 shells, and what's he get? He hits no 12 pack. I was going to say 6. While the Russians are force packed for the moment, I don't know. I kind of still have to like the Russian position. There's just way too much junk over here, and we've talked about it. The 70th is not a deep deck. And there we go. Take back another position, back to having 13 to 11 engagement. So what do you think? The second Andreyusha is ready to fire. It launches to the north and obliterates Alderaan?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Probably. But he's had a real good push here from Saxony. He's got all his guys pretty much spread out, nice line formation.
Mm-hmm.
Just those KV runs are going to be a pain in the ass, and Pbatt's a really good defensive position.
Yeah, now the one thing I'm finding very fascinating about this so far is that buildings don't seem to have the same oomph that they did before.
Yeah, they're smaller, and they take up less, they're more spread out.
Mm-hmm.
So far, like, it's not like the dense towns of Normandy, France. It's much more like sparse villages here and there. So it's a little bit harder to maneuver around CQC infantry, I find, in villages and towns.
You mean that serfdom has meant that the villages aren't quite as close together? I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Now, despite the fact that there is a solid defense here, the relative inexperience, it seems, of the Russian tank crews are seemingly getting pushed back awfully quick. Mm-hmm. We are seeing a couple more, actually 4 more squads of guards being pushed in, and that I think will be enough to hold the line. But the LPOs, they're a very close order unit, and they're not going to get that kind of knife fighting engagement.
Yeah.
Once again, these mortars, though, if this is me, I'd be firing my mortars to the north, either side.
I think he's aiming them now. He's aiming one of them at least.
It's aiming bug though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a shame.
The 76 millimeter howitzer is aiming back towards the Flak 38. I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, kind
Um,
of battery.
but yeah, you know what? Actually, I think this push waited too long. The German push, that is. I think the Russians are going to get just enough troops in the area because, like you said, the DPs have an awful good amount of firepower from a distance.
Yeah, and the KV runs are in a good position. And there's only one Stug here versus two KVs, so unless the Stug can pick off both KVs one by one, he's not going to have a good time.
Andreyusha.
Oh! Yeah, that shuts down the push.
Yep.
You called it.
Also, again, this is awful to say, but I'm actually kind of happy that the forest gets blown apart when you bombard it with artillery now.
Yeah, screw the trees, man.
Well, I'm not even saying that, but like to a certain extent. First, by the way, Stoke goes down. The idea of having artillery that just hits a forest and nothing happens. I mean, come on. There were times that people just completely burnt forests down because they didn't want to deal with them. But neighborhood for fires back. 1 KV goes down.
Wasn't expecting that.
Ease.
That's like a direct hit, I think, in that KV almost.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was gonna say actually down to the south as well. So that little forest position.
Mm-hmm.
I think it got cleared out, and then the Germans retook it. I think.
Yeah.
No, never mind. It's still there. It's still there. I saw some Russians behind enemy lines, I guess. And I just saw them get taken out in the minimap a couple minutes back, but before that whole engagement happened to the north. What we do have, though, is we still do have... You can see troop morale is slipping. We must counterattack. Though, from the German side.
From German side.
Yeah.
You need to read it out again, but in German.
Troop morale is slipping. We must counterattack.
Perfect.
Thank you. That's my Hans voice. Another push getting set up over here to the south. I like seeing more artillery being brought on in by Pbatt.
Mm-hmm.
Pbatt, I feel like, is a very by-the-book person. In terms of engagement, in terms of how he constructs attacks. He's very combined arms. I think Saxony, is a little bit more disparate, but I think we're seeing some more interesting tactics out of him. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, Saxony's been pretty light on the tanks, it feels.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing he doesn't have too many Stugs in his deck. I mean, you don't really get many Stugs to begin with. You get a decent amount of Stugs in 78th. But he definitely felt like in some areas he needed like more Stugs. Like up north, he only had one Stug up here where he really needed like, you know, have them in pairs or some other anti-tank options.
Well, we're investing. He just invested in 4 more strokes.
Yeah, which is good now. I mean, try to do an armored push. And it seems like he's going to try and send those 4 Stugs onto that middle hill. And that could work. There's only 1 KV, 1 there. And he has enough infantry to try to push up and take that hill. And that's a lovely position if you can take it.
True. Well, we still have the Obusier, the 53K, the 45 mil that's right back there.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not saying they have great sightlines. In fact, I would say that the howitzer is more important because he can get that nice HE damage. And as we know, tanks are no longer impervious to HE.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sniper down south. He continues to do his whole thing. I am surprised the Germans have not been able to achieve a Schwerpunkt kind of attack.
It is like 78 to be fair. Yeah, they're pretty slow.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I think I meant more of the troops are not quite being masked by objectives. If we were playing the old school, just control the map, Saxony's ahead far and away. He's been ahead for the last 10 minutes or so, but he's been losing tickets this entire time.
Yeah, because you got to control the important parts of the map now.
Exactly.
And all the Pbatt's units are surrounded by the important parts of the maps.
Let's take a look at the way that these are held, too, just for a second. So if you look at the northern couple of Soviet positions, there's one position that's not really held too deeply, but then again, it's behind the front lines by about a half a click. But the northern one, look at what's holding that. We have a leader unit, we have a couple of tanks, we have more machine guns being brought in now, we have snipers, we have this, we have that. I keep using the term cohesive, but that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, a bit of everything.
Yeah. By the way, Yak coming back in for another Yak attack. Cluster bombs away to the south. 1 stroke's already dead. And the firecrackers go off. He doesn't die from that, but the Yak will go down.
The yak attack.
Yep, the yak that smiles back, goldfish. I keep hearing all this automatic weapons fire. Okay. The Schutzen is trying to engage the Studebaker. That's fine. Enjoy.
Yeah, Southern Puss is going well for Saxony. He's got one of the flags under his control, or barely. Doesn't have that much
Yeah,
actual
that's
presence.
that's gonna split pretty quick.
Yeah, we got like T-34 and 2 KV-85s down south, so he's definitely going to get those Stugs in position to try to counter him. Here he sends in the Stugs up the hill, and they're going to run into the KV, but it's 2-on-1. Let's see if he can win.
No, I don't think he's
no.
going to.
Yeah, the other Stugs engaging the sniper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shame.
And by the way, there's an absurd amount of infantry coming on in for the Soviets again to the south.
It's all yeah, it's a mix of a little bit of mix of everything.
That 8 squads, something like
Yeah.
8 squads of infantry, and they're all pretty much in that danger zone right there. So that town is not going to be German for much longer.
Oh no, it's just gonna become red very soon.
And I'm very amused to a certain extent that while the entire Forest Europa over here has been held consistently, don't get me wrong, I think it's been more because the Soviets haven't really put together a legit attack for it. By the way, second stroke goes down to that KV-1. Mihalovic, rather. Doing work.
He's in a lovely spot. And
Doing
also
the comrades' work. Yep.
Also, you know, a Stugsy coming in 1-by-1. But
True, now we have... Jeez. You're having fun with this, aren't you?
I'm having...
Oh, man.
He really should have, like, artillery to that KV position by now and then move up the Stugs.
Well, it's fair to say that there's not a ton of air power for the 78th. In fact, it's pretty much you get the ME-109s. And maybe you invest in 1JU, but
yeah.
gotta be something here you could have done.
He really just needed to get the artillery in that KV to just stress it out a bit before moving up the Stugs. That really would have been his best option. Because he's pretty much almost lost 4 Stugs.
He has.
Yeah, he has lost 4 Stugs to one role plays KV-1.
And one ME-109 comes in to strafe it. That's cute.
A little bit too late, yeah, bud.
Man. That's the Goering attack right there.
Oh, that Sturmshooter squad in the southern area of map. He's gonna be in for a treat.
The Ultimate Cheeky squad's coming in?
Yeah, and you got the Sturmoviki coming in as well. He is completely surrounded. But he's holding. Like, he just completely annihilated Sturmoviki. I mean, after Matochiki.
Yeah, he did, but he's got 400 rounds of MP40 ammo and about 7, full reloads of a KR98, and that's.
Oh no, I was talking about the the Sturmshooter in like the town just a little bit north of it.
Oh, okay. I was looking at the Schutzen, I guess. Oh, you're talking about the town that. Okay, yeah, my bad. I was looking to the further south than that. Yeah, now we have this squad down to the south. He's got very little in the way of ammo. He is saving Private Ryaning, and he will very quickly get captured. There we go.
And you got another shooting squad, kind of in like the middle southern area, completely out of machine, pretty much completely out of ammo, apart from like some MP40. Which I find happen a lot with my 78th Infantry. I usually tend to run out of ammunition quite a lot with my Sturmshooters and Stutons, which is a good problem to have, I guess.
That's true, but it just means the cyclic fire that you're getting out of it. That's exactly why.
They do. Those guys do a lot of damage. You really get your money's worth.
I will say, finally got some Nashorn, so some rhinos coming forward. But like you said, those guys are very much outmatched on a map that requires them to get nice and tight and killing close. I was going to say, I think we're starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel for Saxony because we're getting a couple Strum Pioneers, but for the most part, we're just getting a lot more Shreks. Yeah. And not for nothing, but you are not going to be able to take a whole lot of ground with that.
Yeah, I do have a feeling he's starting to run out of infantry, while Pbatt still has a good amount of reserves left. I haven't even seen any of the penal guys from... No. I'm guessing Pbatt doesn't take them in his deck, but you can get a lot of those guard units for a rather cheap price.
Here's a question. Ersatztruppen. 70th definitely mounts Ersatztruppen. I
Yeah,
know I take them in my A. What do you think? Yes or no? Would you
I
rather
I
go
like
Sturmschützen or Schützen, or
I
do the
I,
Ersatz make sense?
I always like taking Ersatztruppen so far. Both of the German divisions, they're just nice. They're cheap. They give you, a good amount of A phase infantry. They're terrible. They can't hold a fight worth a damn. But if you just need some cheap stuff to hold ground, just delay the enemy, for 15 points you can't really go wrong.
True. True. If nothing else, they swap the lines. If nothing else, and you can kind of make things look rather well fortified. Is that the term I'm looking for?
Yeah, yeah, just you know, they put them in the reserve areas essentially. It's,
I am amused. We had a Schutzen squad now with the Sturmoviki behind him, and I think we're going to see a surrender pretty damn quick. No,
oh no,
that
he's
is
holding.
strange.
He's holding.
Yes, he is. Jacking back into the south. So we talked about that barracks push that was probably supposed to have happened a long time ago. And for the most part, Germans are holding steady, but we now have a direct fire kind of artillery piece just lofting rounds into that barracks. I can't imagine they'll last too much longer here.
Yeah, we still got a lot of German infantry nearby. And yes, this is a good area for the Germans to engage. It's a little bit more open to make advantage of their machine guns. And that middle hill has really been battered quite a lot now. I mean, the Germans still held, just a lot of chunk of that forest left, but the LPOs are coming in, and they're coming in strong.
Well, and other than one Schutzen squad, everybody else is pretty much out as well. So was that the Schutzen squad at the western edge of that what you're talking about, or another guy?
I think maybe.
Well, there's only really one squad that's kind of combat effective. Other than that, I would not put a lot of, hope, let's call it, on those first three squads there. And now with the Pack 40 getting stressed, that's not what you want to have happen. Alright, outside of that, let's just shift around a second. Driver killed to the north. Northern fighting is flaring up again. Panzerschreck actually aggressing very strongly here.
Getting rather close. But he's gonna go down. He's one man.
Yeah. And the Vosvod UPR is just, making sure things are covered on that side.
The Stug is getting some good hits on the KV. I think the Stug's probably going to win that engagement.
Yes, he does.
There we go. And that might be enough for the Germans to take his northern point. And Saxony, he is still losing by quite a bit, but he can still, Oh god, yeah, there's a cluster bomber strike and... Never mind, I think it completely stops that northern push.
Oh, it was another Yak attack, okay.
Yeah, Yak attack.
I went back down to the south to that forest to see what was going on there, but Saxony taps out.
Oh.
That was just, you know what, I understand why, but at the same time, I was not quite expecting that to happen right then, right now.
Yeah, he definitely seemed like he was, almost on the edge of making some sort of breakthrough, big breakthrough, but same time, we don't know his actual unit reserves, but he might have been running out of units pretty heavily.
Well, in terms of team stats, 4,400, yeah, that's a pretty hefty amount of death, so I would not be surprised if he was running out there. Yeah, that one KV-1E, Mihalovic got those 4 strokes, and that was his contribution to the fight. Losses-wise, big deal. Not that much. There's one Sturmschützen that was pretty damn devastating.
But yeah, I find it quite interesting how Saxony actually got more kills on that match, but he still lost by quite a bit. It didn't really feel like he was gaining much ground for most of it, but he was shooting a lot of Russians, that's for sure.
Yeah, but the problem with that though too is that there's just as many more Russians to attack. So, but with that in mind, we do come to the end of the first of our triple games coming out in the next few days here, folks. As always, you like what you see, feel free to leave a comment below, like the video, all that wonderful stuff like that. Any last pearls of wisdom there, Rang?
Are you on the game debriefing screen right now?
Yes, I am.
Isn't it terrible how the text is like the same color as the background?
Yes, I am not fond of that, but you know what? I imagine that will probably get fixed in the next patch.
It hopefully it will. But yeah, that's all I have to say.
Well, guys, if you don't want to be, staining your eyes with a black and white display in front of you, well, come back next time for another game. Right now, though, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.